Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me.
Welcome to Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Vayeitzei, and the Parsha ponderable for this week. The Torah tells us in this week's Parsha that Lavan made a huge wedding feast in preparation for Yaakov's, what Yaakov thought would be his upcoming wedding to Rachel. We know in effect that Lavan substituted Leah for Rachel at the last moment. It's on this idea of a wedding feast that there is the following ponderable. Reuven's son and Shimon's daughter were soon to be married. Reuven and Shimon had entered into an agreement where Reuven would pay the costs of the wedding and Shimon would pay for the costs of living for the first year for the new couple, the apartment and all of the utilities, and this way the new couple would be able to get started out on the right foot. As the wedding was approaching, Reuven saw a notice that there was a wealthy donor who was willing to sponsor weddings for poor chassanim and kalos if the couple would be married on a Friday. Sure enough, Reuven's son and Shimon's daughter were scheduled to be married on a Friday. Reuven sought out the donor, and after explaining to him the situation, the donor agreed to pay the costs of the wedding of Reuven's son and Shimon's daughter. And soon afterwards, the money was transferred into Reuven's bank account. When Shimon heard what happened, Shimon approached Reuven and said, "Now that someone else has paid for the wedding, so I ask you to share with me the costs of the living arrangements for the first year for our children." Reuven responded to Shimon and said, "What are you talking about? I made a commitment to pay for the wedding, and I've taken care of paying for the wedding. Why does it matter to you where the money came from?" Who is correct? Is Reuven right? After all, his word was to pay for the wedding, and that's what he managed to do. Or is Shimon correct? And since the money that paid for the wedding didn't actually come from Reuven, that Reuven should be willing to split the costs of living for the first year with Shimon. Im Yirtzeh Hashem, the answer next week. Shabbat Shalom.